Hi and welcome. This is my May review for Virgos. We start the month with a positive aspect between Venus and Jupiter. Now this is fantastic. This is one of the best. You can't really go wrong with this. And in your 7th house, it's going to be fantastic to spend time with people, either your partner or family and friends. You'll enjoy the company, and it's also good for joint financial projects as well. So that's fantastic. Then we have Pluto retrograde as well at the start of the month. Now when a planet's retrograde, you can still work with it. Pluto's in your 5th house. So this is a time to look at your connections, and the work you can do now will stand you in good stead in October, because on the 8th of October Pluto will go direct, and this is when you'll need to put what you've learned over the last 5 months into action. So be mindful and learn these things now. And with Pluto in the 5th, you need to look at what you're trying to control in your life. What are you trying to take charge of, when it's probably something that you couldn't or shouldn't take charge of, and you won't have any control over. Let it go. Let things be as they are. And also look at your creativity. How do you express yourself creatively? Are you valuing the people that you spend time with? Are you creative with them, or do you prefer to be doing things on your own? These are all questions you can ask yourself while Pluto is retrograde. On the 4th, the Sun makes a conjunction with Uranus. Now this always brings a spark into our lives when this aspect happens. It's a time when you want to generate some excitement, because you get a bit bored with the humdrum everyday routines. And so this is in your 9th house. This is a time when you need to learn something new. Look into something that you've always been interested in, because whatever you learn at this moment in time will change your beliefs, and beliefs are very, very important. Everything that we act upon is down to what we believe in, so it's good to get good strong beliefs, so then your action will follow. Now we have Mars making an aspect as well with the Sun, so this will bring confidence with this, so you'll be able to act on what you discover. We have 2 other aspects on the 4th. We have a conjunction between Vesta, the asteroid, and Saturn. This is happening in the 6th house, and this is the house of Virgo and the house of service. So with this aspect, you'll want to do your very best work. This is 6 days this one's lasting, so you've got a week to apply yourself to this. You'll want to make sure that whatever you're doing at this time is virtually perfect. Also, you'll want to look after your health and your fitness and your body. It's a time when you really will be paying attention to the details and analysing things. And Saturn will give you the persistence and the practicality to follow through. Now the other aspect is a little bit more difficult. It's a square between Venus and the Black Moon Lilith. Now this is across the 7th and 11th house. This involves friends and relationships, and this could be a time when there was a little bit of conflict, because you want to express yourself as you are, and if anyone's holding you back or preventing you from doing this, then you need to adjust it. If you sort things out on the 4th, then the 5th is going to be a fantastic day, because Venus makes a sextile to Mercury. Now Venus is speeding through the universe at the moment. The Mercury is starting to slow down, so Venus wants to have fun. She wants to have a light-hearted, exciting day. But then Mercury slows right down, and on the 10th goes into retrograde motion. Now this is in your 10th house, so this is going to be a little bit of time when, for 3 weeks approximately, when things may slow down on your chosen path or in your career. But it's a good time to work with these planets when they're in retrograde motion. And the things you need to pay attention to while Mercury's in that 10th house is your status. There may be some conflicting views, differences of opinion regarding your status, but you have to reconcile these and accept that not everybody thinks the same as you do. But then the other thing that's crucial is that you plan ahead and pay attention to detail, but not too much attention. You need to look at the detail, which you're good at, Virgos, but you also need to keep in mind the bigger picture and build your plans around them. So in 3 weeks' time, when Mercury goes direct in your 10th house, you'll be there right on the spot to go straight forward. On the 12th we have another fantastic aspect. The Sun makes a conjunction with the Moon's North Node. Now the North Node is that spiritual way forward. So this is a time when you'll be ready for a new challenge. Maybe you want to take a new path and take on a new quest. Whatever it is, you need to develop and enhance your talents at this point. And also take on as much information and knowledge as you can, because it's going to stand you in good stead. And again, we also need to focus on beliefs, because what you believe in now is what you will achieve. So you need to make sure you 100% believe in what you're going to do. Mars comes in on the 14th and makes a positive aspect to the Moon's North Node. So this will give you the conviction. This will give you the desire and the energy to go forward with this. You need to be more autonomous. You need to do things alone. And this will set a good example to other people. There may be a small blip on the 15th. It depends on how well you've prepared. And with Virgos, knowing that you are so precise and so analytical, your planning should be impeccable. But if there is anything that you've not planned properly, then this will hamper your desire to move forward. We have a square between the Sun and Saturn in that 6th house of practicalities. So there may be some duties or some responsibilities that you've overlooked that you need to complete before you can go on that quest. Then we have another aspect, and that's between Venus and Chiron. Now this is to do with the past. This is to do with anything that happened in the past that maybe was a knockback or setback. This is now time to put that behind you and use this psychological strength to help to power you forward. There was a full moon total eclipse on the 16th, and this is in Scorpio, so it's very emotionally intense, and it's also in your 3rd house. So this eclipse is part of the same series as the one in April, so the themes are familiar, similar, but this is happening in a different house. This is now in your 3rd house. So the emphasis is more on communication, on getting things done. It's more on the mundane side of things. So you need to cross the T's and dot the I's, so to speak. And also with this eclipse, it can bring added responsibilities or the need to take control of something. Maybe because someone else is unable to finish a job or do something. You need to take over, you need to take control, and you need to finish things off. But also, you have a responsibility to yourself. All these things that you're thinking about and planning, and it's now time to start putting them into action. But communication is key here. So any forms, any letters, any communications that you need to do, you need to tie up all these loose ends now. Make sure everything is going smoothly so that when you move forward, you'll have less to deal with. You may have some strange feelings on the 17th because Mars, the planet of ego, makes a conjunction with Neptune, who's ego defying. So it could be that you're a little bit in suspension on this day and you're not really sure who you are and what you're doing. There could be mass confusion around, so just make sure you concentrate on things and don't let this bother you. It's only going to last a day or so. But on the 18th, the Sun makes an aspect to Pluto, which will bring back intensity and purpose into your life, and you'll be able to focus fully. And this is a time when you might make some internal changes as well. On the 19th, Mercury makes an aspect to Jupiter. So this is a time when you can resolve some of those issues we were talking about your status and about other people's different opinions, because Jupiter in that 7th house will help you to overcome, work with these. And then on the 21st, the Sun moves into Gemini, so that means he moves into the 10th house of career and destiny and makes a conjunction with Mercury. It's time to look at things now. It's a time to evaluate things. See where you're wasting your time. See where you have half-baked ideas. and rid yourself of all those, because you need a clear view of the future now. And this is what Mercury retrograde can do. It can help you to build up this picture. It can help you with the Sun now in the 10th house to get yourself ready for when in a couple of weeks' time Mercury goes direct, and the Sun and Mercury will both be going together. There are two more aspects to help you with your planning and your organisation. We have the Sun making a positive aspect to Jupiter. Jupiter's now in early part of Aries, which is very well suited. And now we have the Sun in the 10th house of career and destiny. So these two now are working very well together, very close together. This is a very fortunate aspect. You can't really go far wrong with this. So if you apply yourself in the right areas, you start to get results. And make sure your planning is up to speed. And then Mars also has a positive aspect to Pluto on this day. And Mars is not quite in Aries yet. There's a few more days to go, but he's making this aspect to Pluto, so there's power, there's energy coming through now, and this is in readiness for your big push forward. On the 23rd we have a conjunction between two primal archetypes. We have Ceres, the asteroid, who represents motherhood, eternal mothering, and the nurturing side of us. And then we have the black moon Lilith, who is the original sinner, related to promiscuity and the sexual side of things. And it is possible to integrate these two. If you're in a relationship and you integrate the nurturing with the sexual side, then that could be an opportunity to take the relationship a step further. But it's also a good time when you can help other people, friends. You can help close friends with independence and freedom that is related to these two. And these two can bring up intense feelings from past hurts that may surface now and will need dealing with and talking about. Venus makes two very different aspects. The first, on the 24th, is a positive aspect to Saturn. Now, Saturn's in that 6th house. This is a time to look at obligations and duties, maybe at work or within your daily routines, and see where things need adjusting. See where, if you can, talk about these things and see who does what and what's expected of each other. Then on the 26th we have a very different aspect where Venus makes a square with Pluto. Now, Venus-Pluto together always brings up deep emotions, and with Pluto in the 5th house of love affairs and Venus in the 8th house of sexuality, then there could be fireworks. Could be very deep, intense feelings and desires that surface on this day. On the 28th, Mars is in action. He makes probably the most physically powerful aspect of all. He's in Aries, which he rules, and he's in the 8th house, which he also rules. And he makes a conjunction with Jupiter, who is also very well placed in the first few degrees of Aries. So this will give you immense physical power. This is a time to use that power wisely, channel it in the right area. Mars makes an aspect on the 30th to the black moon Lilith, which will mean you'll want to push the boundaries. You'll want to strike out in a new direction. You'll be fearless, and so use that energy, channel it wisely. On the 30th we have a new moon. The new moon is in Gemini and in your 10th house of career and destiny. So for the next couple of weeks you'll be very, very busy with your career, your public standing, or your chosen path. And there's going to be a lot of energy you need to focus in that way. And Mars has given you the energy, so it's time to think about things. It's time to plan, to listen. Most importantly, to listen, because you can pick up a lot of valuable information just by listening. And it's also good to pay good attention to those who maybe could mentor you in some way. Now, it's also a great time to work on yourself, work on self-development, work on self-mastery, because every inch and ounce of time you can spend on it now will pay you back tenfold later on. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the May review. If you'd like to see more, please subscribe. If you'd like to leave me a comment, I'll be glad to hear from you.